The Babysitter. Friday night, a heavy rain started pouring all around this old house in the country. It was almost 11, and the twins were upstairs tucked in bed. The TV in the living room played an old game show. Mr. and Miss Danderson, the parents of the young twins I was babysitting, only had that old television set and only about 20 channels to choose from. It felt like I was back in time inside that old house. I ate a sandwich and sat on their faded leather couch. I watched as the game show on their old TV went in and out of static due to the furious thunderstorm outside. Then, that stupid cell phone on the kitchen table cried out with that stupid chime. Another message. And I sighed as I walked to the kitchen and looked at the screen. From Aaron. "Julie, baby, please just talk to me. Answer the phone. I know you're mad, but I'm worried about you being alone tonight, especially in the storm." I took the phone back to the living room and sat on the couch. I stared at the message. I wanted to tell Aaron to go jump off a bridge and to never text this phone again, but I set the phone face down on the end table. Another minute later, it started chiming again. A new message. "Aaron, I swear," I said under my breath. I grabbed the phone, but it wasn't from Aaron. From Mr. Danderson. "Hey, Julie. Just checking in. How are the kids handling the storm? Do we need to cancel the trip? Come home early?" My stomach dropped. Why would they come home early? That wasn't the plan. I went quietly upstairs. All the lights were out on the second floor. Occasionally, light would shine through the windows from the lightning outside. I peeked into the twins' bedroom. The little guys were tucked under their sheets in their beds, fast asleep. I stood near the top of the stairs as I wrote back to Mr. Danderson. "They're sleeping through it all. LOL," I responded. "No need to come home. You two have fun. Enjoy your night out, and we'll see you tomorrow when you get home." Lightning flashed, and thunder slowly rolled across the sky. Something made a soft, creaking sound behind me. Goosebumps formed on my arms and neck as I turned my head to face the darkness behind me. There was no one else in the house, just me and the twins. I thought I heard it from the twins' room. Clutching the cell phone, I crept into their room, careful not to wake them. I used the cell phone flashlight and shined it throughout the room. There was no one in the corners and no one under the bed. I turned my head to the closet. The door was closed, like I left it earlier tonight. For a moment, I thought about opening it, but then, the chime rang out on that stupid phone. I didn't want the twins to wake up, so I left the bedroom and went back downstairs. On the cell phone screen, it showed it was an unknown number calling. I had enough, and I was certain it was Aaron trying to harass me some more. I answered. "I swear," I whispered into the phone, "if you call me or send me one more stupid message." But on the other end of the phone, there was only static. It broke apart, and I could hear rain and thunder, like someone was calling from the inside of a car. It was a man's voice. He spoke back, his words broken by the weak signal.
"Who? You? Who are you? Where? You? Julie, I know. You. Where you are. I'm coming. For you."
My blood ran cold as I stared out of the kitchen window into the dark, stormy night. "Who is this?" I whispered. For a moment, there was no answer. Then, he whispered through the sound of the rain and broken static.
"Hide the children."
I looked at the screen of the phone. The call had ended. I dropped the phone on the kitchen table and backed away. "Who was that?" I whispered. I grabbed the phone again. I was too scared to be here alone anymore. So, I texted the one guy I swore I would never talk to that night. I messaged Aaron. "Aaron, where are you? Is someone with you?" I paced the living room nervously. The television kept breaking more and more into static and white noise as the antenna on the roof of this old house was beaten by the raging winds of the storm. "Come on," I whispered. "Come on, Aaron." Tell me where you are. All I needed was to make it through the storm, and then I could leave, head for the highway, and never look back. I just had to wait out the storm. That horrible chime music sounded again from the phone. I grabbed it fast. Aaron? It wasn't Aaron. It wasn't the Dandersons. It was an alert from the state police.
Inmate escaped from Parker County Prison at 9:12 p.m. Friday, March 18th. Suspect is wanted for first-degree murder. Suspect is 6 feet tall, Caucasian, brown hair, brown eyes, scar from cut across right side of face. Dial police immediately if suspect is spotted or tries to contact you. All Parker County residents are advised to stay inside and lock doors and windows until further notice.
My heart leapt into my throat. I ran to each door on the first floor and made sure they were locked. I checked every window. I closed the curtains over the living room window and I peeked outside. Who had called me? Who was on his way here? Could it be him, the prisoner who escaped? The chime music began again. I looked at the screen of the phone. Unknown caller. Hello? I whispered. At first there was nothing but the sound of rain and thunder. It was so loud, like whoever was calling was standing outside in the storm. He yelled angrily into the phone.
Who? You! What are you doing?
Who is this? I cried into the phone.
Let me in! Let me in!
Let you in? I closed the curtains over the living room window. I backed away. What are you talking about? You're dialing the wrong number.
Where? Julie.
Suddenly, the rain sound lessened on his end of the phone call. He was quiet, breathing heavily.
Let me in.
He said in a low growl.
Or I'll break in.
I started stuttering in terror. I'm calling the police. You better leave me alone.
Who are you?
He whispered.
What are you doing in their house? Where are the children?
I could hardly breathe. I went into the kitchen and grabbed a steak knife out of the drawer. I walked back into the living room as the lights began to flicker. Who are you? I whimpered.
What are you going to do with that knife?
He hissed. I froze. My eyes darted left and right to the living room windows. They were covered by the curtains, but he was outside. I could feel it. Where are you? I whispered. For a moment, all I could hear was rain on his end of the call. Then he whispered.
Turn around.
I turned and faced the front door. There was a glass, circular window on the door above the handle. There was someone outside. They had their face pressed up against the glass, looking through it. It was him. He could see me. I screamed, and I turned and ran up the stairs. I threw the phone to the floor. I stopped for a moment at the top of the stairs. I turned and looked down at the bottom, and I heard him banging on the front door. Let me in, he screamed. What have you done with Julie? Who are you? Who are you? Then, he broke through the glass window. I could hear him fumbling with the door handle. He was breaking in. I ran into the twins' bedroom and slammed the door shut. The twins were still in their beds, and they were starting to cry. Something moved in the closet, or someone. I faced the closet. My blood raced through my veins as my heart pounded nearly out of my chest. I gripped the steak knife tighter. I grabbed the closet door and threw it open. That stupid teenage girl came barreling forward from out of the closet. Somehow, she had cut off the little pieces of rope I had used to bind her wrists and ankles. She swung at me with a little pocket knife. I grabbed her and threw her to the bedroom floor. The twins were screaming now. Of course they couldn't move, because their hands and feet were duct taped together, just like I had left them. Someone ran up the stairs and busted through the door. It was a young man about the same age as the girl. He was soaked from the rain. Julie! He cried for the girl. Aaron! The girl reached out for him, but I grabbed her and held the knife to her throat. Stay back, I growled. I'll cut her, I swear. They're not taking me back to that prison cell. Never. I could see my face in the reflection of the bedroom mirror. Lightning flashed. exposing the scar along the right side of my face. "I've already called the police," the young man said. "It's over. Just let her go." I thought about burying the knife in her throat, just like I did to my wife, but I kissed her on the cheek instead while she sobbed. "Remember me," I hissed, and I threw her forward. I turned and ran to the bedroom window. I threw myself through the glass, shattering it and falling with the pieces to the muddy ground below. The fall didn't kill me though, and I limped off into the storm while police sirens and flashing red and blue lights approached from the road. They'll never forget the man that broke into their old house, tied the babysitter and children up, and then got away from them. I certainly won't forget her anytime soon. Hell, thinking of her still makes me smile.